It's Sunday morning. It doesn't look like this Jambu tree is going to recover from that pounding it got the other day. It's going to continue to hang down. That's going to make it just so easy for the kids to grab the fruit. It's rather a bland tasting fruit, not particularly sweet. It's okay, but yeah, good crop, and this is the second crop in a month or two. Very productive tree. Jambu likes it. I personally think it's a damn nuisance being on top of the roof there, but well, she likes it, it stays. Now walking over here, I'm going to be a bit more cautious this time. I'm not going to walk out the middle. I'm going to go over closer to the building where we don't have as much green. We only had about 1 millimetre of rain yesterday, in contrast to previous days, so it's not quite as awash as it was previously, but there's only been one day since the 31st of October that has been insufficient rain to register in the rain gauge, so yeah, no wonder the humidity's high and mosquitoes are abundant. We had a half-hour automatic maintenance run the other day on the genset, and it's used bugger-all fuel, so I'll leave that alone. Won't need to top that up. It doesn't want to keep in focus, this camera. But yeah, out here the path is dry, so I might just wander down to the creek. The creek is still flowing, but it's down a bit after a day with bugger-all rain. No fish jumping? Okay. I'm going to have to go back and look at just how old this jackfruit is. Is that definitely less than 2 years? I just don't quite know how old it would be. But all of this went in after the shed was constructed, so I'll go back and find out. But I think that papaya is not going to be doing too well, sort of overshadowed by the citrus and the papaya above it. Well, that one hasn't given up, but it's very still, as you can see. A little bit of movement of leaves, and it's flipping humid. Jambu's cassava that she planted is growing vigorously. This is where our sweet potato comes from. The sweet potato vine. And apparently my coffee plants died, but I have 4 cocoa plants, so I may be able to make chocolate eventually. Yeah, over 30 degrees, 31 degrees and 87% humidity. That's reason enough to retreat back to my nice air-conditioned lounge room. There's another angle on that Jambu tree just to prove it wasn't just a propitious angle to view it from previously. It's loaded on this side too. There we go, that's a view from a video I took on August 11 last year. So 15 months ago those trees were new, so that gives you an idea of just how fast stock grows here. But, yeah, some of these things grow pretty well. So we've come a long way in 15 months. That stack of used timber is largely gone, relocated elsewhere or burnt, and that garden's really grown up. And those trees along the path. So 15 months of growth around here is equivalent to a hell of a lot longer anywhere else, I'd say. Could be something to do with the huge rainfall. We've had over 3.7 metres of rain so far this year. and when there's still a week to go in November. Well, it's Tuesday already. Not much rain the last couple of days, less than a millimetre registered, but still there was a bit registered. So that means only one day so far this month with no rain registered, and I'd swear there was a few drops that day. Still get thunderstorms. But the average humidity for this month, the average is 95%. So it means overnight it's always 99, and sometimes it'll drop down a little bit during the day. But yeah, so 95% humidity. When you add that on top of sort of 32, 33 degrees, that gets pretty unpleasant. But we've had enough sunshine every morning that we get the batteries at both the shed and the house here fully charged up, which is good. We don't really get full sunshine on those panels until about 9 AM because of those big trees up there. Similarly, we don't get the sunshine on the hot water loop there until 9. But we've had shower temperature like last night, 38.5 degrees, 39 degrees, so that's pretty good. It's still, this morning it cooled a bit overnight, so it was down to 35 this morning, 35.5. But that's still quite okay for a shower. Saves a bit of gas. But the pump on the shower, which does the cycling on and off, if you leave that on long enough, it does overheat the pump and the pump shuts down. So you have to wait for it to cool down again before the pump will work again. And that's why I want the pressure vessel on there. But Dadang's busy with farming. There he is, off to do farming again. And Asra's busy with running the rice factory and the associated business with that. So I haven't actually had a chance to speak with them and get some of their time for installing the pressure vessel on the shower pump. That'll happen in time. But the Jambu, they're not fully ripe yet, most of them. So, but that's a hell of a crop. But yeah, so that's current state of play. I received a couple of TPMs. It's interesting, this PC doesn't currently meet Windows 11 system requirements. Well, that should be bullshit, because I've just put a TPM in it. Anyway, the TPMs I ordered on eBay took 78 days to get from China to Greenvale and Melbourne, and 4 days to get from there to here. Amazing how it works. Yeah, okay, I've got to go and do troubleshooting now, it seems. This is where things get more risky. My research shows me that if I go in and add a registry key and set it to 1, it will permit the update, but it's risky. So, yeah, bugger it, I'll do it. Well, I created the required registry key saying that it would work without TPM or CPU requirements, and tried running the setup again, and it now tells me that it must support TPM 2.0, and TPM 2.0 module is what I installed just this morning, so I am unimpressed. It thinks the CPU is okay, but it still wants a TPM, even though I've instructed not to require a TPM. Further research, then I give up. I've given up on that PC. It's going to remain on Windows 10. Despite months of waiting for a TPM to show up and plugging the TPM and not having it recognised, that's just the last straw. So I'll put it back with the TV in the kitchen, main kitchen, and of course that TV doesn't want to recognise anything plugged into its DVI ports nowadays, so it's going to sit there and rot. when I finally get over my frustration, I will take the other TPM over and have a go at the one in the shed. That's another 2016-2017 computer, so it may also predate the supported systems for Windows 11, but it should work fine. If it doesn't recognise the TPM after I plug it in, I'm stuffed on that one too, but if it just doesn't support the CPU, that's okay, I can get around that. I've got the way to do that. But yeah, not happy. Bloody computers. Yesterday was the second dry day this month. On the previous one, I think there was probably a few drops of rain that just didn't register. But yesterday I think it was completely dry. Not so today. I don't know if it's registered on the gauge yet or not, but there's definitely some rain and there's been lots of thunder. Yeah, well, it's banging up for the last few days. Coming down pretty well. I think we missed the thunder, there was a fair bit of that going on. Looks like it's time to clean the debris out of those downspouts again. Cat is getting his bike one. It's hard to see how the rain comes through that gap up there, given that it's got the overhang of the eaves over it. But, yeah. I'm sure my tanks are full over at the shed. Yeah, well, that is the wet season. Yep, over 100 millimetres there. Yep, that's a pretty good rainfall rate. So not 20 millimetres yet, but we'll definitely pass that. It's Wednesday. I swear you can just about see the rice growing. But yeah, we had another 37 something other millimetres yesterday. So no shortage of water. And no shortage of mosquitoes, of course. I'm over here in the shed for a couple of things. One thing is I really like these Kensington Expert Mouse trackballs. But the one that's here in the shed, that pretty much got worn out. So I bought myself a new one for the lounge room, and I brought that over because I'm hoping that I can get the right mouse click to work again reliably. Right, Clive? Yeah, this one. Because at the moment you may have to click it a couple of times for it to work properly, and I'm hoping that just blowing any dust and crap out of that with the air compressor will help once I've got it deconstructed a bit. The other thing I'm here for is second TPM to go in that machine. So we'll see. This could be worse. I don't have to remove the graphics card to get to the TPM header, which is just one of these down here where I can actually reach my hand in there, I think. Well, that was much easier than it could have been. It's in. So now I put the cover back on, stand it back up, connect back up the mouse, and I brought over the USB key for God, even that's rusting, for Windows 11. So we'll see whether it's game to do an update. Wish me luck. It's never easy with the TPM module in there. I was getting power here but no activity on the disk at all, and we just sit there blankly with no output on the screen, and the amber light there was indicating that, yeah, I wasn't getting a signal. So I thought, oh bugger, okay, well I took the TPM out again and powered it up, and then I was getting disk activity like this, but still no output on the screen. So I thought, well, that's a bit of a bugger. I must have upset the graphics card when I was fiddling around in there. So I pulled the TPM, well I actually had the TPM out at that point, lifted the graphics card out back in again to reset all its connections, powered up, nothing, still amber over there. So then I thought, okay, well I'll unplug the DVI-D cable at the back there and up there and plug them back in again, reset those connections, and powered it up, and oh look, I had activity on the screen. So okay, well I'll try my luck. So I powered it off again, put the TPM back in, powered it back on again, and now it's working okay. Computers drive you nuts. So now I'll put the cover back on and hope that it doesn't suddenly stop working again. Then I'll put the Windows 11 kit in and see what happens. See whether it recognises I've got a TPM, and whether I have to have the other registry codes in there to bypass upgrade checks. And of course I forgot to bring that sheet of paper over with me. But I'm already getting hot. It's 31.3 degrees and 86% humidity, so I'm already getting to the stage of not wanting to hang over the box because I'll be dripping sweat into it. So I just put the lid back on that and see how I go with the Windows 11 kit. And that's exactly what the PC in the lounge room said yesterday. So either both TPMs I bought are duds, or yeah, Windows 11's dud. I shall try those other instructions I tried yesterday, and if it still says that the TPM's no good, I shall say this one's staying on Windows 10. Bloody Microsoft. I will actually consider looking at what version of Linux I should put on these, because Linux isn't going to give me this trouble. Bloody computers. It's Friday. There's people over there racing around on the tractor, preparing a paddy for planting rice. So that'll be a noise going on in the background. But I have my instruction sheet for setting up this registry key for having a go at installing Windows 11, so I'll do that. I did have one success yesterday, and that was getting the trackball to work properly. Because blowing that out with the air compressor was enough to make that work. That's just as well, because it was going to cost me the equivalent of about 165 Australian dollars to replace that locally, which is not real cheap considering what you could buy an actual mouse for. Well, there's my new registry value set to 1, so let's see what happens. Yeah, well, that registry key which says allow upgrades with unsupported TPM or CPU works for the CPU, doesn't work for the TPM, and I've got a TPM 2.0 plugged into there anyway, so bugger it. Yeah, well, I'll look at what Linux variant seems to be best for this. Well, that's all shut down again, and that's me pretty much done for today prior to doing an upload to YouTube, so I'll go away and edit this down and do my weekly upload. Their frustrations. This trolley here is one I got cheap from Bunnings years ago. It was sort of end of model run out type thing. Used to have the red plastic tub in there, which gave up the ghost. So now Jambu just puts this standard black tub in there that doesn't really fit. Still does a job for her okay, so okay.